Yo guys, Theo here, Uncommon Sense. Trying something different here today. It's going to be a little bit meta because one of the things I'll be talking about is kind of the reason I'm even trying this different thing. So, post-growth hangover, that's what I had in mind. That's what I feel I experience a bit lately, and it's an interesting thing. And so what I'm going to do here is, there's a reason I didn't say Coach Theo, right? I just want to think out loud, completely not in character, Like, my thing is being authentic, being as real as possible in my videos. However, sometimes when you have specific ideas, you talk to the camera, you gotta have a certain energy. It's a character, quote unquote, as in it's still a certain mode you have to get into. And if we want to be like that, we're always playing a character, right? We're all just the universe playing all these characters. No, but yeah, lately I've felt this that I felt before, that I'm choosing now to call post-growth hangover. And it's kind of like how it's this, like it always is, with the polarity of the universe, ups and downs, contrast, And so in this case, it's when you experience a lot of growth, a lot of success, maybe after even a really tough time when you feel like you've only achieved the opposite, or you stayed alive, survival mode, like going from out of a depressive state or the like, a period like that, into a period when just a whole lot of stuff just goes your way. It's like finally the thing you've been waiting for, finally, right? And then you're gonna get used to that after a while, is the thing. And so while things don't change much, nothing is taken away from you, nothing is really worse, the experience is just not as intense of like, wow, everything is just going my way, right? And it's just interesting to observe. So in my case, it was that I had a very difficult 2023. In a nutshell, it's a romance and pressure on myself about work, mainly, to perform better there, right? And there are all these things, all these videos. I made videos about stuff I've learned, how I would have done things differently, like managing emotional states and such. But either way, I went through this long time period, and then I experienced some success, both with a romance, such as, even in this kind of video, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but a success as in, we're not together now. I love this girl, and it would be beautiful if it worked out. But I experienced success in the sense that there's had been many difficult times, like there can be in relationships, and I really overcame some of my bad patterns there. Like, so I experienced success in that sense, right? And it's like a relief, a big win after a long time, right? And then also with the profession, I have an initial video blow up on YouTube and managed to success really well, and it was like an extended peak. It's not just that one video. That keeps generating for a while, but also all my stuff gets blown up more. Business starts rolling much faster again, because I reach more people, just get more client requests, right, and more clients in the end. And so I'm having a great time with all of this, that I'm not feeling this heaviness from troubles, life problems. It's not just romance problems, really, but that and the work stuff, like the stuff that has been weighing me down, I'm now experiencing the opposite. Like, if not just the relief of the not having a problem with something, like actual great success in many ways, having such a great time with work and YouTube and interacting with all the guys. So grateful, been so happy for all that. Like, guys, if I post this, because I don't know if I will yet, this is something I'm trying, right? But I really love you guys. Like, I love all people, but man, has just been great to feel like I'm creating more of a tribe here on Uncommon Sense. Like, I have my people, But anyway, like, so this peak, that first video blowing up like that, like it has to stop at some end, has to end at some point, right? Like it's a blow up randomly from the algorithm. God bless by the algorithm, but it's also gonna fade, and so everything slows down a bit. And it's like now the channel is bigger, all the videos get more views, everything that I've been feeling great over is still very much happening. It's just that it's not in the state of like bursting for it. It's still moving forward, of course, but now the pace is just a bit slower. But the point in the numbers and everything, it's the same, right? But somehow you just, yeah, that's kind of what I'm just even thinking about going into this video, or whatever I should call it. I'm just speaking, sitting here right now. I'm sure I'll put some footage on it. But this, I notice sometimes that you feel, I guess it's when you are a person that is experienced a lot of intensity, you know. If you are someone with, you know, tendencies to anxiety from your life experience and such, generally, a person like me, a bit more polarized, you know, bipolar in a sense. I don't care much for the diagnosis, but the point being that you've gotten used to either things sucking really intensely or feeling absolutely amazing, you know. And so you feel uncomfortable when it's like more still. There's just like, yeah, you're not depressed, you're feeling good, you're not anxious, you know, in that introverted, completely withdrawn state, but also at the same time, not all this like great energy flowing where it's just like, like what I guess what some people would call just motivation, or, you know, but what I would refer to as a high state. Like it's not necessarily a high state, but it's definitely not a low state. And it's like you're not used to that just middle ground, peace. That's also a theme I had in my head going into this. I think what I'm using this kind of thing for is, like both now, like I say, it's very meta, because it's just because I'm feeling this way, kind of, that I just feel like stepping out right here for a little bit of the, you know, speaking to the camera and doing the regular kind of thing, and just, because I'm not feeling that, like yes, this is the message, like yes, it's not, I'm in a state where it's more like, I have so many absolutely things I'm thinking about, but it's like I need to do something like this. So we see it's kind of an interesting thing. It's like I have a little podcast philosophy session with myself. And I guess, guys, again, if I end up posting this, like many times I talk, so you wonder why I talk so much about me and what I do and what I think, and that it's because Theo, that's the one who's like inner process I have access to, and I'm sharing mine, you know, to help you. That's what I always do. Like, it's a way of thinking. I've known that since the beginning with Uncommon Sense. And so right now, what I'm doing is observing this going on inside of me, where it's like I'm uncomfortable and go around thinking, like, what's wrong? When I'm really maybe just feeling peaceful, not really bad. And that's part of what I go around pondering during a time like this. Like, yeah, it's like I'm not feeling bad, but I'm feeling bad about feeling this way or so. It's like, yeah, because when I'm speaking right now, I'd say I'm feeling good, you know, but it's not this super intensity that like a month or two ago I definitely was always at this like heightened. I can laugh more easily. I'm gonna be more giggly and stuff. But now it's as if, yeah, if something was funny enough, I would laugh. But I'm saying I'm not in this kind of withdrawn state where it's like nothing just is funny, you know. And to me, it's interesting. I guess this is what I've experienced the least of in my life. Just the funny thing is that people often see me as a calm person. I guess that this is who I am at my core. Just as from myself, when I just, because it's a little different. You are a little different when you're among people and stuff. And I guess when I just go about stuff for myself in my life, I've been used to either like being in some kind of intensely not good state, even panic attacks at a point, right? But I've also experienced these really high highs when you're almost manic, you know. I wonder how many people that tune into Uncommon Sense are like, I know I get, of course, clients and consultations and stuff with people that recognize almost a kind of way of being, brain. Yeah. But yeah, this I've experienced in my life, like, I would say I've never literally been manic, because even though have this emotional states where I feel just extremely great, and I'm so fast, I'm processing everything so fast, and I can know that I'm like intense, and I can be aware of that. Maybe I come off as like, what's up with this guy? He's so excited, he's so happy, he's so like, but it's like I am always aware of it, and I would never just do something crazy. While I might not particularly care about breaking norms so much then, and if someone is going to think I'm a little strange or something, I would never just, I know, when I just think of people talking about someone being manic, it's like, oh, just randomly start jumping on cars out of some kind of, I don't know. I don't lose control is the point. And so that's why I think so highly of these kinds of emotional states, the high state. And look, the high state, the thing about it is, it's not bad. Like, it's so interesting. I can see that I needed to do something like this, just talking about, I have so many things going on in my mind. But it's very interesting, this with the states, because the high state, you feel the best, and in a sense, you see some results from that you can be super productive and all this stuff. But sometimes you can feel just a little bit too good, too. It's like, just like how negative emotions, we have a preference, we don't like feeling them, and I've done videos on this theme lately, but they serve a purpose, right? It's a little bit like the opposite, that we enjoy certain emotions, but just as we can like shut down the bad ones, repress them, can lean into, think a bit too highly of just our feeling great. Sometimes you're blinded by feeling great too. That happened to me. You're like Icarus, right? Flew too close to the sun, burned himself. Yeah, I've had that happen for sure. Okay, what more did I have on my mind here? Well, I guess this is an exercise in this, that I really know that peace. There's nothing wrong with peace. It's like really, like something now I'd like to be visual and show you. But the way I see what I do with my mind and inner work, working on the mindset and all these guys that are just talk about a bit more compartmentalized and one idea at a time, like that on the channel. But I see it as like, let's put it as if I'm having these papers in front of me that I've just, I don't know how you say that, like made into little, wrinkly balls. And it's like, I feel as if what I'm doing is like I'm trying to straighten out this paper more and more and more. And somehow, like, I don't know why this is what comes to mind. So the more I straighten out the paper, like the clearer my mind is. Now I just start thinking, why is that matter? That this just feels like the way I describe what I'm doing. Something that's been just like pressed into a little ball like that, like really going over it, every angle, straightening it out completely, right? There was something that came to mind there, a little bit, something similar. I'm thinking about all these things I've been thinking about lately. No, but it sure is interesting, guys, this life experience we're having. Yeah. This what I'm doing right now, because this is a complete experiment, and obviously I knew before it's going to be long format, and going to be certain kinds of people that would like listening to this kind of content. But when you do regular videos, one thing you have is you have this pressure that you have to keep going, right? keep the energy going, not lose the attention, right? Which probably sometimes I go off on tangents and stuff, but it's a lot about, it's not just about the words you say, it's the energy, how you present it, that there's no breaks, stuff like this. I find that this also interesting, guys. This is one thing. Again, like lately, because I've interacted with so many more people, like just followers, new clients. Yeah, like I mean mainly around the uncommon sense thing, and people are interested in this my like way of thinking, right? I think that's also what I'm trying to, because you know, that's why I share so much about what I do, guys, because I can't know how other people think. Like, because I notice some things that come very naturally to me, like many of my coaching calls, for instance, or just take how I answer stuff on live streams. What comes completely just naturally to me, what is like obvious to me, in a sense, you know. I just had to be triggered into thinking about something, it will come out. I don't know. Sometimes it seems like I just have to share my thoughts, and someone thinks it's like profound. It's like, and I've gotten comments not just on what I think, but on how I do it, you know. Point being, though, that I can just know what Theo thinks like. You know, we can observe each other externally, but we only have one little fella to to observe from the inside. This is quite fun, actually. You know, I think it has occurred to me at times to just talk out loud instead of go around thinking when you're by yourself. You know, you go about your day, you go train, you go on a walk, you go do errands, or you work, whatever, right? It has occurred to me sometimes to try speaking out loud, because it changes things, right? It's a very interesting thing. A side note here, I have a little brother who's autistic, and I've talked about that every now and then in videos, and I'm not gonna, it's not the main point now, but one thing he does is that he thinks out loud. Like, he always goes around talking out loud. And of course, kind of strange, and it can be just frustrating for someone who lives with him, because he talks quite loud. You know, he can't help that he's different, but just saying it's a special thing, right? But point is that, you know, you can recognize, even though he's thinking kind of much simpler stuff, you could say, you can notice similar, you can see how the like little ego story, how it, you know, it goes down one stream of thoughts, and then another, and sometimes I hear him like rehearse situations before they happen. You know, that stuff we can do when we're stuck in our head, right? But so it has occurred to me, like, to speak out loud, and I think, I don't know, that's interesting to know, actually, how much do people actually talk to themselves, like physically. I guess a lot of people are afraid of doing it because it just seems, oh, I'm strange now. Oh, you're not crazy. People talk to themselves. The thing is, you're obviously always talking to yourself. It's just with a silent voice in your head, otherwise, right? But something becomes different when you hear it out loud. And so I think, because to me, yeah, well, for me, I guess I would do it sometimes when I'm like in a really good mood, mostly. Just laugh with myself, say something to myself in the mirror or something. But to actually go around and start thinking, it's strange. But if I know that I'm recording something, even if it's not the typical video performing like that, like I said, yeah, it still comes more naturally to speak. But isn't it interesting? Like, guys, that's why I was thinking about having a podcast called Human Beings, when, yeah, people just share themselves for real, you know, like what's going on with them. I love, it's so funny how people think sometimes that someone that, like, talks about themselves, quote unquote, is self-centered. But really, sometimes it's like the opposite. It's like they're trying to, for yours, they know that all of us, we're basing many things on just our own experience, because that's all we have. And like I told you, we can observe each other externally, but some aspects we can just see from one experience, right? So it's really many times when you talk about yourself, it's just a means of making a message understood that isn't necessarily about you, right? You're just using yourself as the example because you are the example you have. And a person can, with their words, talk nothing about themselves, but they're being completely self-centered because they're, they're not feeling this situation. They're just talking about something that they find interesting or are proud of or something, not picking up on that, they're taking over or something. No, this is definitely an interesting thing to do. Honestly, this is like, I want to kind of encourage you guys to do it. Like even just for yourself. It's something with even the act of recording, right? Even if you wouldn't upload it, it's like, that it's getting stuck somewhere. You're not just talking to a wall and then it's gone. Yeah. Yeah, guys. My thoughts feel clear through doing a thing like this. Maybe I'll do it like this. Because this is typical extra content I could do in some other place. Because this is not going to interest everyone. But it's going to be very interesting to some. And so maybe you don't want to fill YouTube with that. Just thinking now, guys. It was nice to, like I said, let go of character like as much as possible even. What do you think about that idea? That you're always playing a character. Like in the end, even the most authentic version of you, it's still a character. It's like based off of this one vessel of however many billion humans there are on Earth. Earth. Very Swedish. Earth. There's a Greek letter called theta. It looks like a 0 with a minus on the inside. And it's pronounced like that. Not but 7. Can you say that? That's 7 in Swedish. 7. 7. Notice that's difficult for a lot of people. Yeah, let me see how long I've done this for. 23 minutes. Yeah. Contemplating all these things. Post-growth hangover. And that, I think that's a note I wanted to end on. Kind of what I was thinking going into this. It's not a hangover, it's actually peace. But people that have experienced a lot of intensity in their life can mistake peace for, a hangover, something bad. Yeah, the here and now. Because I don't have anywhere I have to be yet. I'm gonna meet someone in a while, but a friend. But I'm kind of trying out what I think. I mean, of course, they wouldn't have to be as long every time. Yeah. Oh, I think there even are like, I don't know if I can do it on this one, but I know there are functions on like recorder stuff that it removes the breaks. It's nice for me to relax every now and then. but if there are too many pauses, maybe it's not so nice to listen to. It's interesting. Now you get my philosophy, my pondering this thing that I'm doing, how I should be doing it. No, but the here and now was something I was thinking about before this recording too. I listened to the audiobook of Eckhart Tolle. Tolle, I don't know how to pronounce it. He's Dutch, right? Should be Tolle. But yeah, it's one thing when you've drifted far away from the here and now because you're going through a hard time and you're completely in your ego's catastrophe story it's telling over and over. It's very hard, even when you hear all those things, like, yeah, that sounds great. It's like, it sounds great, thank you. But how could I be the here and now? But it's kind of the way I see it. That's also, it's good. It's so good to do this because now I remember things I've been thinking about, like about protecting the state, protecting your mindfulness, your being in the here and now. Because a book like that, there are many similar ones. I don't think, the way I see it, guys, why I don't read so much is that I'm never going to think that one book is the best. Many times, like the point is that it's about you finding the truth for yourself in any way. So all these books are places to look, but you can find so much on your own. But it is good to read a book every now and then. That's the point too. I just want to say that, in my view, it's not that it's such an amazing one. There are similar ones, other ones that could help you as well. But are good reminders, like in that one, when you're not in the here and now, that you're always in a state of waiting, Like even if you're thinking about something in the past, like a breakup or whatever, somehow you're waiting for, like, either to whatever it is to get good, if it is an ongoing thing, like a relationship or some other crisis, right? You're waiting for it to be good, solved like that, or like a future when you've moved on because you're not now. So you're waiting, right? Can also, of course, be just that you think that something in the future, when I have that, then I'll be happy or something. Also a state of waiting. But the here and now in the end is always what you have. And so if you can't enjoy the here and now because you're in a state of waiting, yeah, well, that should be minimized. Of course, when tough things happen in life, it's part of life to have to follow, have to let go. But as much as possible, want to be present and enjoy the here and now, or at least not have any problems with the here and now. Yes, and I guess that's how it relates to this post-growth hangover to peace. Yeah, maybe because you think if things are good, I should be feeling amazing, but maybe you can at least conclude that no, it's not a hangover, it's just peace. Yeah, no, but and yeah, that, guys, I did little videos lately that are little related to stuff I'm talking about now, and this is like my process right now to protect my state. This is like spiritual work, inner work, like I said. It's think of it the way I describe by pushing that paper together into a little ball. I was so interested how someone would describe this thing, someone who's actually a native English speaker. It's so interesting when you speak English almost pretty much as a native, and then you run upon something like, I don't know how to say this. But yeah, if you think of that thing, something similar could be too, if you think of a cluttered apartment, you're getting messy. It needs to, like, in order for it to not be a complete mess, so it feels like impossible to clean it up. And you have to, when you see that, okay, I'm starting to let loose, I'm making a mess here, gotta tidy it up before you get to that point when you just, yeah. It's the same on the inside, right? But when you notice it, you gotta be protective of your inner state. I think that's something I've learned throughout these years of Uncommon Sense, and I don't mean the channel, but the lifestyle. that, how should I put it? Like, I've taken feeling great for granted sometimes. And maybe, you don't want, it's that balance as always. You don't want to live a life in fear. There are many people, I think they are realists or just being safe. They're ruled by fear. But you gotta take some safety measures and be like protective of your peace. Never take for granted that you're feeling amazing, but also don't neglect. Do not neglect when you notice, like I'm not really having problems right now, right? The problem, because we never really do. That it's our beliefs, how we feel. The world is not as it is as you are, right? But gotta manage, gotta clean out the gutters, tidy up before it turns into a complete mess. Yeah. No, it's interesting because this is what I'm doing right here. One day I'd like to write a book on this too, like mindset, exactly how I do when I explore my inner world, because like in my training book, where it's, of course there are mindset stuff in there because that's always included to me in the training. But when I started writing the book after 3 years of training, I felt, I was doing great. It's not that, but I realized that now I'm still learning too much. I can't put the complete thing here. With the mindset stuff, it's like, yeah, it's the same, but it's also, it's like, it's all vaguer because it's what's going on the inside, your mind, It's not just names of exercises and sets and reps and muscles and that, right? It's complex. So yeah, I know that if I started doing a book now, I'd probably feel similarly. That yeah, it goes well in the start, and I come upon like, nah, I need more time to really put all this together. Because that, guys, I very much am a professional and a businessman here. I'm making Uncommon Sense like one of my sources of income, of course, but it's stuff I do on here. But yeah, sorry, someone called me. Gotta do this in airplane mode, of course. And I had to listen back a little bit now. But yeah, the point is that I do not want to put out stuff until I feel that it's completely ready, that it's a solid product. That's what I did with my training book. I find it interesting. To me, it's quite a simple book. Like, not simple as in I'm going in and explaining things the way I do in my videos, but with words. But it's like I'm not made of like Bible. It's like it's just everything. I know, like this is everything. Like everything else, like they could be used, but more fluff. Like yeah, I could put if I were to do a 2.0 book, I could put stuff that I didn't really think belonged to the main topic there. But what I do with a mace and a hammer, that kind of training. Because yeah, it's part of my like physical practice, but it's not really about this with bodybuilding, right? Because that's what I wanted to give in the book mainly, like the tools for someone to go and make training results, like aesthetic bodybuilding wise. And so I focus on everything related to that, right? But I know I put it off another 3 years after I initially wanted to do it. I know that it's a genuine good product. It's Coach Theo in the book, in book form. Yeah, interesting. Have some things in mind when you go into recording something like this, and then because you are talking out loud, you end up just saying a bunch of stuff you're just thinking about. It's very interesting to think about how you operate, because now here, even if I'm relaxed and I'm just sharing whatever I think of, I have some kind of unconscious shield that I wouldn't just say whatever to you guys, right? Even though I'm very personal, right? There's some kind of layer, a character, or whatever. Once I called it like, it's like you're wearing all these little invisible suits. Masks, I guess, would be almost a better term. All of these things that they serve a purpose, you're supposed to, but it's like little roles you have to step in. And it can even be a behavior, you know, like you know, one suit for how, like what things do I talk about with this kind of person, this kind of relationship, or I'm in my professional setting, or I'm wearing my suit of I'm speaking another language, my mask or whatever. Yeah, and some of them we take on more consciously, or we're more aware of, even if we're not putting, and some we're not even aware of. Very interesting, all of this. Yeah, all true source, the true source of knowledge is the knowledge of the self. Really, think about it. It's always you. Like, even if you see something, hear something on the outside, is you. It's always you. That's something, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize. And that's a saying like that, you know, you always have everything you need. Because all you need is you. You know, whatever you feel is lacking, well, the main thing you need to get that thing is you. You getting the thing is not possible without you. You are the constant. And it's the same for more simpler things. The reason you haven't lost weight isn't because your wife always buys cookies, always have cookies at home. My wife buys cookies at home, or because you've been stressed, or because this or that. No, it's you. You haven't lost weight. You haven't lost weight. It's always you. And that's a lot what I do on Uncommon Sense, right? Bringing the focus back to you. Hopefully waking some people up to that fact. That's what happened to me with the panic attacks, right? I realized I had always had, before that, guys, realized I was 25 years old. Some guys that follow me are younger, some are older. But you understand that feeling as if it's too late or something, because somebody will look at someone and say, well, you're so young or something. You have all the time in the world. It's all in the person's experience, though. And I felt like it was too late with so many things, and some things were impossible, right? And I proved I had what I needed all along. It was just me doing, doing the things I needed to do. It was me all along. That's when everything changed. And that's when 6 years of uncommon sense led to this amazing physique that you see. But that's, as you know, the external is a manifestation of the internal. And the physique development is very much like on par, like up to speed, linear with the inner process that I've done. It's by focusing on you, always. With weight loss and stuff. Never look for a solution outside of yourself. You can find aid in things outside of yourself, but it's always about you. You doing the thing. You. I just got curious. Saw on the balcony across the building. Looked like they had weed plants, but it wasn't. I actually hear my brother-in-law and their little kids outside. I'm neighbors with them. Maybe it's a sign I should go say hello to them. I think I'll try this out. We're 40 minutes almost. That's the thing. I could have stopped at 23 there. But I think I wanted this to be longer, like almost a little mini podcast, a solo style, of just philosophizing without having to make a specific point, like in a video. Just explore Theo's mind, inner world, what's going on, and share it with you guys. Yeah, very interesting to hear what you think about this, guys. Like and comment, subscribe. I do coaching all that stuff. Buy my book. It's all in the description. So let me know what you think about this, and yeah, I will see you later, guys. I'm doing this just to get to 40 minutes. Haha, peace.